companies are kind of screwing you over, and they're doing it by messing with the ingredients. So all your favorite snacks are not really hitting the way they used to. They just used to hit different. But now you might be seeing that certain things are just like not as crunchy as they used to be, or they're not as rich as they used to be. What's going on with these snacks? Well, it turns out that a lot of these food companies are looking to cut costs, maximize profits. And the way they cut costs is by doing away with more expensive ingredients, quality ingredients, and they're replacing it with worse ingredients, okay? And people are noticing because it's gotten so out of hand. I've noticed it with certain snacks that I like to enjoy. So one Reddit user complained a few weeks ago, Ritz crackers, for some inexplicable reason, maybe around 5 years ago, the crackers went from being nice and firm and dippable to nowadays easily crumbling to bits with even the lightest dip. I don't eat Ritz crackers, so I haven't noticed it with Ritz. Have you, by any chance, John?
Crumbling apart easier? I mean, I think you could probably still manage some dips. Maybe dips are thicker these days than they used to be. I don't know.
I gotta say, if you are making a product that is meant for dipping, it needs to, it needs to be strong enough for the dip.
Well,
and I just
first
don't.
Of all,
yeah.
Is a Ritz a dipping chip? I think maybe you put cheese on it. First of all, I think you just eat it by itself.
Or peanut butter.
Or peanut butter. Okay, peanut butter is a heavy thing, but you don't dip peanut butter, you spread peanut butter. I think this is a faulty use case issue.
We're spending too much time on Ritz. Let's move on.
Probably.
So there's another Redditor who lamented, you could bite into a Twix. By the way, I totally have experienced this. You could bite into a Twix and feel your teeth travel through a heavy layer of caramel. Now they snap in half and taste like a sugar cookie with some chocolate on it. So true, so true. And then a third person said, Breyers used to be the best for store-bought ice cream, but now it's just a crappy mess. So there is, in fact, a reason you might be experiencing similar things with your favorite snack foods. So manufacturers, according to Business Insider, are quietly modifying their recipes to save money and maintain their profit margins. The phenomenon, which has been called skimpflation or flavorflation, which sounds fun, they shouldn't call it flavorflation, is a way to hide the impact of inflation and avoid passing higher costs onto the consumer. But by replacing expensive ingredients with cheaper ones, companies are also making food less tasty, less healthy, and less satisfying. By the way, they're also screwing us over by giving you less in the packaging. That's been something that's been going on ever since inflation during the coronavirus pandemic became a thing. And it drives me nuts. Like sometimes you open a bag of chips, for instance. Not that I eat chips, I eat super healthy, I only eat vegetables. But sometimes, Christian, my husband, will open a bag of chips and it's like, oh my God, it's only a quarter of the way full. Like what's going on here? And it's because they give you less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not just guessing. You can also look back at packaging from before they started giving you less and you'll see the ounces are more from the past. Anyway, go ahead, John.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, and that's definitely true. I do also think though, there's like multiple different concerns being conflated in here. There's like the ingredients being switched out, there's the portion sizes being reduced, but then there's also an element of a lot of people being like, this doesn't taste like it did back in the old days. But that presupposes that you have aged 10, 20, 30 years. Tastes change. And I think that some people might be missing that, as well as things being colored by nostalgia. I don't like a lot of the foods that I used to when I was younger. A lot of foods now taste too sweet. That's naturally how our taste buds change. But yes, I do think some ingredients are being swapped out, and I think some of these products are being made more inferior. I would remind everyone though, that this is kind of false advertising. It's not that food is being made worse. All of these products are not food. They look like food, they're shelved like food, but they were crap before they were changed. It's just more obvious that they're crap now. And arguably that's a good thing because then maybe we won't be suckered in by them so much.
I disagree. Look, because they haven't lowered the prices of these products. They've kept the prices the same, or in some cases even increased the prices. even though they're cutting costs by implementing cheaper ingredients. And look, it's always been a phenomenon. This isn't new, but it seems to have gotten a lot worse thanks to the supply chain issues during the pandemic. It was harder to get some of the quality ingredients that they previously used. And for the most part, companies aren't required to even announce when they change their recipes. So consumers might not know what the companies are even up to. But we do, thanks to this report. So in a notable example, get a load of this. This is probably my favorite example, and it's crazy. In a notable example, last year, the food processing giant Conagra reduced the vegetable oil content in its Smart Balance margarine to 39% from 64%, replacing the rest with water. How the hell does that even work? If you replace it with water and oil are two different things.
Yeah, they don't even mix.
Different things. How are they doing this? So the company didn't broadcast this shift, obviously not, but consumers were furious when they noticed the change in flavor. After getting almost 1,000 one-star reviews on its website, Conagra promised to bring back the old formula. And this year, Conagra again changed one of its recipes, and they decided to reduce fat content in its Wishbone House Italian salad dressing by 10%, replacing oil with water and more salt. Terrible.
I mean, honestly, again, kind of an improvement. I think they should replace all of the vegetable oil with water, and then we'd really have something, because water is less likely to kill you. No, again, by the way, I'm making all these comments and I stand by every one of them, but not because, and I know why you might think otherwise, I only eat healthy foods. I eat all this stuff. Everything I eat is at least heavily processed, sometimes more than that. Sometimes I'll take heavily processed food and then I do some stuff to it. But that said, I know that I should not be eating that food. The issue is that it's made to be addictive. It's made to be a sensory experience that takes you in by its appearance, by its taste, by its mouthfeel. Well, if it can no longer do that effectively, then maybe some people will be freed up from the trap of the American diet that we've been bred into.
That's definitely wishful thinking, if you ask me. That it definitely is. Companies are using less avocado in their guacamole. Make your own guacamole. Just it's gonna taste better. You're gonna know what's in it. Yeah, less egg and mayonnaise. Just don't eat mayonnaise, in my opinion. And olive oil in various spreads.
You have a problem with mayo?
It's just a personal preference. I would rather not eat mayo ever in anything.
Okay.
Sometimes, you get a sandwich and you forget to tell them to hold the mayo and it's in there and it is what it is. But I'm not a big mayo fan.
Yeah, and then because of that, you've missed the opportunity to potentially eat a really dry ass sandwich that's super unsatisfying.
No.
And how dare they do that to you? You could have been choking on dry ass bread, and now you have a delightful food experience. Damn them.
John, I am actually deeply, deeply ashamed of you as an Italian American. Do you not use vinegar and oil in your sandwiches?
No, not really. No.
Really?
I'm not a good Italian. I'm telling you. I know that I'm not.
I love me some mustard. I'm a big fan of mustard. I'm spicy mustard, regular yellow mustard, the mustard that's kind of sweet but tangy. It's
that
got those
sounds
little
better.
seeds in it.
But
So good. Anyway, now companies are also using, as I mentioned, less of those quality ingredients like avocados and guacamole, and olive oil in various food spreads. A 2022 survey by Trace Grains, a company that helps manufacturers produce ingredients, found that of more than 300 food and beverage brands, 37% had changed the recipes of more than 20 products since 2020. While another 25% had changed between 6 and 20 recipes. 90% of the respondents blamed inflation for these changes. And historically speaking, food companies do get away with this stuff. So for instance, in 2013, Breyers reduced the amount of dairy fat in its ice cream by enough that it no longer legally qualified as ice cream. The company had to relabel its products frozen dairy desserts. That's terrible.
Love to eat food.
God, there's even more. So go ahead and read the Business Insider report. You won't regret it. It's really, really good.
If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.